Well, the schedule went out the window about 2 days after reaching Vegas. It becomes not what is the schedule, but what can we do tomorrow? What is most important?
Towards the end of the film, my production duties were we need a location and we need it in 4 hours. We have the whole crew eating and we have no idea where we're going next.
And when the schedule starts getting jumbled around, not only do you have to pay the actors for the original days that were intended to be shot, but you have to pay for any additional days that are necessary to make up for the original days. So when you start falling behind schedule in an independent film, it can spell financial catastrophe very quickly.
They weren't sure if there was enough to get the film done because they were taking too long to do it. Some days Monty would do the same scene over and over again. Some days they'd whip around.
Our line producer was really dialed in on how much film we're burning.
He'd say, hey, you're taking too many takes, you're burning too much film.
Boy, I mean, that's such a relative thing. I mean, I've worked with directors that shoot twice as much as Monty, and I've worked with directors that shoot a little bit less.
He shot maybe an average of 7,000 feet a day.
7,000, 8,000, 9,000. I think our record was 12 in a day.
Yeah, I guess he did shoot a lot.
I was taking my time. We weren't making our days. I think we made our second day. But in retrospect, that schedule was not realistic. At least if you intend to shoot a movie in a way that you hope to capture quality scenes. We interviewed over 20 line producers, and we narrowed it down to 2 guys. One guy told us that we could make the film for $400,000, and the other one told us that we could not. So naturally, this being my first time and us being a little bit naive, we decided to go with the guy that told us that it could be feasible.
I have per diem today. I told you on the phone that I had everybody's per diem.
So they're asking me for it. I don't have it, so they're asking me for it. You guys are the bosses. I'm not the boss. I don't control the money.
I was approached by the boom operator, and he told me, listen, I want to be paid now, not 5 minutes from now, not tomorrow, not next week. I want to be paid now, or I'm walking off the set.
Here where I'm coming from. Your last check's good. Let me ask you. Here, is every check clear? Yes. Here I'm coming from. Your checks are going to keep.
First of all, I'm getting ready for a day of shooting, and I really don't have time for this right now. But tell me, when has anybody on this crew not been paid in full as promised?
This last production I worked on, what they do is they give you the first 2 weeks, everything's happy, and then on the last one, they don't give it to you.
So I asked him, why this aggressive stance? Why this confrontation over money when all you guys have been paid on schedule every time as promised? And he says, well, the line producer's telling me that you guys don't have any more money and nobody's getting paid. Oh, really? Well, that's a problem.
Who says that? Why would you tell anyone that?
When we had paid them every single check.
So I'm going to talk to the line producer about that right now.
And I thought he was going to beat the shit out of him right there, and I was going to get my little punch in like I usually do.
Monty is a very kind and gentle person, but he has this threshold that you can't, if you cross it.
He snaps. We already anticipated that it was not going to be a pretty situation, but he handled it better than I thought.
No reason.
That's what I keep getting told.
I'm nervous.
Huh?
I'm nervous because you just always
I didn't almost hit you. I was not going to hit you, man. I threw a chair because
How are we supposed to be a team?
Did you raise a chair to his head?
No, I did not. I did not raise a chair to his head.
I was within 10 feet when a chair got tossed.
A chair got slammed, yeah, but nobody, I would never...
Slammed.
Huh?
In the makeup room.
The director's chair.
He held back and showed some professionalism. But you're allowed to get mad and in someone's face because this, when you're making such a huge project, especially when it's about your life, you don't want to hear some cheesy line producer say, nah, skip this scene, kid. We got to move on. You're like, no, this scene's important and it needs to be done right.
So at that point, it became apparent that we were going to have to stop production, regroup, and raise some more financing necessary to complete the film. And it was expressed that he was not the guy that was going to come back with us to finish the film. We had no more money. I think that when we eventually started shooting again, we went from a crew comprised of about 40 people to 6. Food became stopping by Carl's Jr. in the morning and maybe KFC for lunch. Yeah, little Denny's, stuff like that, whatever.
We stopped filming maybe 3 or 4 times, due to just various issues. Locations, lack of film, lack of money, lack of actors.
We'd raise a couple $1,000s and say, okay, we've got a few thousand. let's go shoot a scene.
The movie was taking so long, my dad didn't even believe we were making a movie, and he said, you got to stay somewhere else now because it was taking so long.
It was horrible. We went from 2 days of shooting, then 2 months with no shooting, a day of shooting, then 2 more months with no shooting.
I was amazed that he could keep it all together anyway. I would have been a basket case on day 2. But he held it together.
Okay. Well, how'd that work out for you? Nobody thought the movie was even going to get finished at this point, let alone be a decent movie.
Never thought it would get finished. Not for a minute. No. You know, Monty's just so self-propelled. I mean, you know he's going to finish that movie.
I went into a state of depression for about a month or so because I just so desperately wanted to finish this movie, and it appeared like I never would.
No, high energy all the time. I never saw any depression.
Despite the very tumultuous atmosphere that we eventually descended into, Dennis was our one constant, and he remained steadfast.
It could be 5 in the morning, and I'm complaining, I barely got any sleep, or blah, 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 and Dennis is like, just no problem. Works right up until 6 in the morning, wants to get that last shot, always trying to go for more.
He was just a constant stabilizing force, and you know, if Monty was off dealing with some drama, Dennis would give me a little something that would be good for camera.
I found him a calming factor on the set, and he calmed Monty down. Because Monty would get, well, of course, because he has to play a very emotional scene. So here's the actor moving into that place of that reality. Then it has to be the other guy who's organizing.
Okay, let's just grab a shot. Is he lit?
Keeping a cool head, rallying the troops, feeding the crew.
But it's kind of funny watching a guy balling in the scene and then right after going, how was that one?
Cut.
He's up here about to play this, and he's thinking.
And cut. Now we just need the close-up.
So it bleeds. So he had this great director of photography.
What do you think? We got it?
That was terrific. Yeah, I thought we were.
Dennis has like a strong ballast. If you push him over, he right sides up.
I don't know if there's any more chaos in this than any other show. If there was chaos, it didn't get in my way. And Monty as well. I mean, we just worked as a team.